Hey everybody, it's the Nitty Professor on a rather cool and gray day. Nonetheless, spring has sort of threatened, anyhow, to be on its way. And I find myself wearing different boots, which isn't too surprising. And I keep wanting to gravitate towards my Wolverine 1000 Miles and my Red Wings. It's like the Trumans are kind of like on the back burner all of a sudden, because now it's easier to wear the boots that are just a hair less robust and I don't know if I want to say more versatile, but easier, maybe just easier to wear in a small way. But I find myself coming back to this topic that Stridewise has addressed a couple of different times, which is, so he has a couple of videos about fight, between Wolverine 1000 Miles and the Red Wing Iron Rangers. So he specifically targets those two boots, which is fine. But I think it's really interesting for me to ask the question of how fair it is to compare Red Wing Heritage boots with Wolverine 1000 Miles. Because it's done so often, and I find myself, gravitating. It's like, well, I could put on these Wolverines or I could put on these Red Wings. So even in my mind, they're like connected, right? It's kind of cool. So I've worn these for the past 3 days. These are my Wolverine 1000 Mile axles in the gray rough out leather. And to be honest, I still am not positive if this is a Horween leather or a CF Stud. I want to say it's a CF Stud leather. And that's something you guys can help me with. I would appreciate it, because some of you really know your stuff. And as I learned from a recent video, I'm less of a collector and more of an enthusiast. And someone who's definitely curious, but who gets her biggest charge out of just wearing these babies and wearing them out. Not that I could ever really wear them out, but I could make some progress, right? Look at the edge dressing on those babies. Even the leather, it's a little faded. I don't know if you can see that on the toe, but it's whiter here than it is past the toe because of, well, in the past I've worn these a lot in the ice, but we didn't have any ice this year. So I was like, well, I'm just going to put them on now. And I've got several pairs of boots out here to just kind of, take a look at the similarities and differences between the 1000 Miles and the Red Wing. So we'll just look at a couple more pairs of 1000 Miles. This pair here has the waxy rough out leather. It's just a beautiful leather. I like showing these boots off with some of the veining that is just so fascinating. And I'm not aware of there being a leather in the Red Wing Heritage boot series that is quite this interesting. Now, they did have pink boots at one time, so that was kind of cool. But this particular leather is just extremely fun to wear. It's a little stiff, but I'm getting it broken in pretty well. I almost wish that they wouldn't have done this structured toe, but that's okay. Another thing that we can look at that is a point of comparison and contrast is the soles. So I don't know that I've ever seen this Vibram lug sole on a Red Wing. We always see the mini lug soles. Likewise, I've never seen a leather sole on a Red Wing boot. And I really like these leather soles. They are just as comfortable can be, and extremely traditional. The other pair of Wolverines that I have out are these black cap toes, and this leather is definitely a Chrome Excel from Horween. Obviously, we'll look at the Red Wings here in a second, and you can kind of, chime in with your comments. The Horween tannery supplies a lot of the leather for the Wolverine 1000 Mile boots, which I think is awesome. They're not quite as, I'm going to use the word inbred, as the Red Wings, where they use their own tannery and make, more of their own components. And then we have another Vibram option sole here, which is the half sole. And again, I'm not aware of this sole being available on any of the Red Wings. Now, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know. Like, does the Beckman offer a leather sole or a half sole now? Maybe. I think it'd be really cool if they did. Maybe they had them in the past. Not completely sure. However, those are some of the things about the Wolverines that stand out to me is, you know, the Tanners where they get their leathers and the sole options. And take a quick look at some of my Red Wings. Now, this is not a Beckman, this is a Merchant, but I think it's kind of similar to the Beckman. This is, so all of the leathers, as far as I understand it, for the Red Wing Heritage boots come from the Foot Tannery, which is located in Red Wing. And so, you know, it's cool. They have their own proprietary source of all these leathers, which is definitely distinctive from Wolverine. They don't have that. Their leather is very high quality, and I think we can justifiably claim that they're on a par with most any leather in the Heritage boot world. I do have a pair of rough oats, as you all know, the Hawthorne Mule Skinners. Don't have them out right here with me, but I do like the different colors that they have, and it was kind of cool that they do them all on their own. Here's one of their sole options, which is the Chemigum sole. Says Red Wing all over it, so I just assume it's their proprietary product that they make there on site. I don't know a lot about that. I would be curious to know more. It's a great sole. This is probably of the soles that I've had on my Red Wing boots, my favorite. Then we have, so I don't have any mock toes here. My son has a pair of their mock toes. That's one thing that I don't see in the Wolverine boots is the mock toes. This is the Blacksmith. This is the Copper Rough and Tough leather. And here we have the very well-known Vibram mini lug sole, which, based on what I've learned on this channel, a lot of you agree with me that it's not the best option. It's, in the winter, you might as well forget it. It just sort of hardens into a rock and works okay in the summers. So there you go. It's versatility is a little bit lower, I think, than the Vibram options that Wolverine has. But these boots, you know, like if you want to compare style-wise, the Blacksmith with the traditional Wolverine boot, they're very similar. I mean, there are a lot of similarities. I think the bump toe is a little bit more emphasized with the Red Wing, but a lot of the construction is very similar. So if you look, here's the Wolverine, look at it from the side, and let me get the right boot for the Red Wing. You know, it's very similar. We have the seam here is just like, it's a little more obvious than it is in the Wolverine, and the spacing is a little bit different, but we have the same seam there. It just doesn't stand out as much. And the backstay, again, this is just a really traditional construction, and I think both of these models go back to traditional models. You know, I think this, when you start looking at how similar this Blacksmith boot is with the traditional Wolverine 1000 Mile, I think that's where people are like, oh yeah, these are comparable. You know, these are so comparable. They're just really comparable. So, and I like them both. I mean, I wear both Wolverines and Red Wings a lot. Here's our Iron Ranger. This is in the gray, the charcoal, rough and tough. And again, we could take a peek. We have the mini lug sole, not my favorite. But if we compare this with the black Wolverine 1000 Mile that I just showed you. So here's the Iron Ranger with the cap toe, and here's the Wolverine. They're very similar. I mean, the style is very similar. I'm taking a look here, like at the top of it, where the tongue, I think even that shape is fairly comparable. We have a bit more of a downward form going on here with the Red Wings, but the back of the boots also. Lot to compare there. Lots to compare. So, you know, some of the locations of the seams are a bit different. Here we have seams going all the way down versus with the Iron Ranger, where it sort of curves all the way into the heel. So, a little bit more going on in the Wolverine construction, because we have a seam here going across, as well as the curve going down on the heel. So anyhow, A lot of similarities, I think. You know, I could break these boots down on the inside a little bit more. Didn't want to go into just a whole heck of a lot of detail, but in any case, I kind of enjoy contemplating the similarities between these two boots because, as I say, weather is warming up. I have to worry a little bit less about toughness, durability, waterproof, just, you know, the hardiness of the boot. And obviously I'm going to keep wearing my Trumans throughout the summer, but I'm probably going to wear my Red Wings and my Wolverine 1,000 Miles more. And I was just kind of asking myself why that is. Well, something to contemplate. I'd be curious if you have, you know, seasons like that for, I know I've come on this channel a few times and talked about boots that I wear in different seasons, but it just occurred to me today that this past week, I'm like, bring out the Red Wings and the Wolverines again. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I look forward to your comments and your experiences with these two brands. Hope you have a wonderful day. We'll talk soon. Take care. Bye.